Hi, Mark. I'm Mandy. Decorum. Decorum demands that you send a thank you note for all birthday gifts, even those you don't like or will never use. In her newspaper columns, Miss Manners gives advice on decorum in all kinds of situations. For example, she says that at a dinner party, you must be polite even if you find a bug crawling in your salad. Espouse. Some politicians espouse whatever ideas they think will win them votes. People who espouse animals' rights often find themselves in conflicts with scientists who argue for the use of animals in medical experiments. Exhilaration. After the last exam of the year, Jan and I were so filled with exhilaration that we skipped all the way to the car. A marching band gives most people a feeling of exhilaration. The lively music makes them feel excited. Exorbitant. Even if I were rich, I wouldn't pay $300 for those shoes. That's so exorbitant price. The armed forces often spend exorbitant amounts of minor items, including an $800 ashtray and a toilet seat that cost thousands of dollars. Extricate. The fly struggled and struggled, but was unable to extricate itself from the spider's web. The young couple ran up so many debts that they finally needed a counselor to help them extricate themselves from their financial mess. Facilitate. Automatic doors in supermarkets facilitate the entry and exits of customers with bags or shopping carts. For those with poor eyesight, large print facilitates reading. Orthodox. When Father Mackenzie brought drum and electric guitars into church, he shocks the more orthodox members of his congregation. The orthodox footwear for a sprint or distance race is some kind of running shoes, but a champion Ethiopian runner competed in the Olympics barefoot. Rejuvenate. The fountain of youth was a legendary spring whose water could rejuvenate people. The grass had become brown and matted, but a warm spring rain rejuvenated it, perking it up and turning it green again. Synchronize. The secret agents synchronized their watches so that they could cross the border at exactly the same minutes. We need to synchronize the clocks in our house. The kitchen clock is 10 minutes slower than the alarm clock in the bedroom. Tenuous. It doesn't take much to destroy an already tenuous relationship. Something is Something as light as forgetting to telephone can cause an unstable relationship to collapse. Dale was opposed to the Equal Rights Amendments, but his position seemed tenuous. He couldn't support it with any facts, and his logic was weak. Exhilaration, cheerfulness, high spirits, extricate, to free from a tangled situation or a difficulty. Tenuous, having little substance or basis, weak, poorly supported. Decorum, correctness in behavior and manners, standards or conventions of socially acceptable behavior. Rejuvenate, to make someone feel or seem young again, to make something seem fresh or new again. Espouse, to support, argue for, or adopt an idea or cause. Synchronize, to cause to occur at exactly the same time. To cause clocks and watches to agree in time. Facilitate, to make easier to do or to get. Orthodox, following established traditional rule or beliefs, especially in religion, following what is customary or commonly accepted. Exorbitant, excessive, especially in amounts, cost, or price, beyond what is reasonable or appropriate. Ignoring all standards or cafeteria decorum, students sat on the tables and threw French fries at each other. Tenuous, some premature babies are so tiny and weak that their hold on life is very tenuous. The ads for the anti-wrinkle cream claim that it will rejuvenate aging skin. The new restaurant went out of business because of its exorbitant prices. The children's exhilaration at the amusement park was contagious. Their parents soon felt excited too. If you're giving a dinner party, preparing some food platters ahead of time will facilitate your work when the guests arrive. Extricate. At age 2, Patrick got his head stuck between the bars of an iron railing. His parents had to call the fire department to come and extricate him. During the 1960s and 1970s, there were bitter clashes between those who espoused the United States' involvement in Vietnam and those who were opposed to it. New members of the Water Ballet Club have trouble coordinating their swimming, but with practice, the group is able to synchronize its movements. The orthodox treatment in this kind of case, the doctor said, is surgery followed by chemotherapy, but some specialists are exploring the possibility of using surgery alone. It filled the audience with exhilarations to see the dancers in the chorus line synchronize their turns and kicks so perfectly. In any religion, Orthodox practices are slow to change. New ones are always in a tenuous position at first and require time to become widely accepted. Although it seems exorbitant, an expensive vacation may be worth the money, as it can often rejuvenate one's mind and body. Foreign service officers must observe strict rules of conduct. If their behavior violates decorum, their government may have to extricate itself from a diplomatic mess. My grandmother espoused garlic as a treatment for chest colds, in the belief that it facilitated breathing. Sometimes she made us eat it, and sometimes she rubbed it on our chests. As a result, we were often ostracized by our friends, who found the smell of garlic repugnant. My college reunions are very traditional occasions, but there is usually very little that's orthodox about my husband. Take, for my example, one of the final events of his reunion last year. It all began when a big bearded man stood up to address the raucous crowd. Over the noise, the man yelled, "You are about to see an amazing sight. The 12 large, robust hunks of manhood you see up here, none with a waistline smaller than 42 inches, are about to squeeze into his Volkswagen Beetle. We're not here to espouse the use of economic cars, and we're not masochists trying to torture ourselves. It's just that we all fit into a Beetle 20 years ago, and we aim to do it again today. Unless we occasionally rejuvenate ourselves by letting go of our serious side and do something inane, how can we stay young? Now, I know that some of you have exorbitant bets in the amount of 2 whole bucks riding on this, he joked. We won't fail those who believe in this, and those of you who consider our claim tenuous, just watch. Then the beard of a man turned to the 11 others. Okay, heroes, he exhorted them. This is no time for decorum. Forget your manners and do anything you can to facilitate this mighty task. Now, let's synchronize our starts. All together. Ready, set, go. Shoving, yelling, and cursing, the 12 men tried to squeeze into the car. If they do get in, I said to my husband, how will they ever extricate themselves? Moments later, however, everyone was cheering vociferously. All 12 men were inside the car. After a few seconds, they exploded out of it with wild exhilaration. Sweaty but triumphant, they jumped up and down and hugged one another. Okay, this is the end of vocabulary. Goodbye, Mark.